Many high achievers appear successful from the outside, yet inside they often feel quietly exhausted. Life may look impressive on paper, career progress, accomplishments, goals reached, but the body rarely feels truly at ease. Even moments of success can quickly turn into pressure to move toward the next objective. Rest becomes difficult, and the mind rarely stops scanning for what still needs to be done. Over time, this creates a subtle but constant strain. The surprising truth is that burnout is not always caused by doing too much, but by living for years in a state of internal pressure. What most people call ambition is often deeply connected to the state of the nervous system. From the outside, high achievers appear driven, disciplined, and motivated. They set goals, work hard, and often accomplish impressive things. Society tends to celebrate this type of determination. Yet beneath this pattern, there is often a quieter dynamic operating in the body. For many people, achievement originally became linked with safety. Earlier in life, moments of success may have brought approval, recognition, or a sense of belonging. Accomplishing something meant being valued. Progress meant feeling secure. Over time, the nervous system begins to associate forward movement with stability. Without realizing it, the body learns a subtle rule: keep achieving in order to feel safe. This does not usually feel dramatic or obvious. Instead, it appears as a constant background pressure. The system becomes oriented toward the next objective, the next improvement, the next milestone. Even when one goal is reached, attention quickly shifts to what still needs to be done. In this way, productivity can remain very high while the nervous system remains in a state of ongoing activation. The body is continuously preparing for what comes next. Muscles stay slightly tense. The mind keeps planning, evaluating, and anticipating. Moments of rest may feel uncomfortable or unproductive because the system has become accustomed to movement and pressure. Over time, this state begins to feel normal. From the outside, this pattern can produce remarkable results. Many successful people have learned to function extremely well while their nervous system is operating under sustained pressure. But internally, the body is rarely fully settled. When this state continues for years, the system eventually begins to feel the cost. Fatigue can appear even when life is going well. Motivation may fluctuate unexpectedly. Sometimes after a major accomplishment, the body suddenly feels drained or empty. This is not because ambition is inherently harmful. Rather, it is because the nervous system has been sustaining a level of activation that was never meant to be permanent. When pressure becomes the engine of achievement, success can arrive while the body is still carrying the strain that made it possible. When the nervous system is operating in this state of ongoing pressure, the effects tend to appear in subtle ways throughout everyday life. From the outside, everything may look successful and functional, yet internally, the experience of living can feel very different. One of the most common signs is the difficulty many high achievers have with rest. Even when there is time available to relax, the body often struggles to settle. A person may sit down in the evening, yet their mind continues running through unfinished tasks, future plans, or small details that still need attention. The nervous system remains oriented toward movement and problem solving. Vacations often reveal this pattern very clearly. Someone may travel somewhere beautiful with the intention of resting, yet after a short period of time, the body becomes restless. The mind begins searching for something productive to do. It can feel difficult to simply sit, enjoy the environment, or allow the system to slow down. The nervous system has become so accustomed to forward pressure that relaxation itself begins to feel unfamiliar. Another common experience is that success rarely produces the feeling people expected it would. A goal may take years of effort to reach. During that time, the mind builds an image of what life will feel like once the achievement arrives. There is an assumption that the moment of success will bring relief, satisfaction, or a sense of completion. Yet when the milestone finally happens, the feeling often lasts only briefly. Very quickly, attention shifts to the next objective. The system begins scanning for the next improvement, the next project, or the next level of success. Instead of experiencing deep fulfillment, many people feel as though the finish line quietly moved forward again. Over time, this creates a subtle sense that something is missing, even in the presence of achievement. Burnout can also appear in unexpected ways. Sometimes it shows up as physical exhaustion. The body feels tired in a way that sleep does not fully resolve. Other times it appears as a loss of motivation. Activities that once felt energizing begin to feel heavy or draining. In some cases, people reach a major milestone, a promotion, financial success, or the completion of a long project, and suddenly feel an unexpected emotional crash. Instead of celebration, there can be fatigue, emptiness, or a temporary loss of direction. This experience often confuses people because from the outside, their life appears to be improving. But internally, the nervous system has been sustaining a level of activation for so long that when the pressure finally relaxes, the body begins to feel the exhaustion that was quietly accumulating. Another way this pattern shows up is through a constant orientation toward the future. High achievers often live in a mindset where the present moment is simply a step toward what comes next. Work is done today in order to reach a future outcome. Goals are set, progress is measured, and life becomes structured around movement toward the next destination. While this can create tremendous productivity, it also means the body rarely experiences the sense of arrival that many people are hoping for. Even meaningful accomplishments can pass quickly because attention is already focused on the next objective. Over time, this pattern can leave people feeling as though they are always moving forward, yet never fully settling into the life they are building. The important thing to understand is that none of this means something is wrong with ambition or achievement. These patterns simply reveal how the nervous system has learned to operate. When pressure becomes the driving force behind productivity, the body may accomplish a great deal while still carrying a quiet strain beneath the surface. And eventually the system begins asking for something different. Not less success, but a different internal state from which success can emerge. The important shift begins when we realize that the problem was never ambition itself. Human beings are naturally creative. We are designed to build, explore, contribute, and move toward things that feel meaningful. The desire to grow or achieve something in the world is not a mistake in the system. In many ways, it is one of the ways life expresses itself through us. What often creates the experience of burnout is not ambition, but the internal state from which that ambition operates. When the nervous system is driven by pressure, achievement becomes something the body feels it must constantly pursue in order to maintain stability. Productivity is fueled by subtle tension. Movement is sustained by urgency. The system learns to push forward because slowing down begins to feel unsafe. From the outside, this can still look like success, but internally, the body remains in a continuous state of activation. The reframe begins when ambition is no longer driven by pressure, but by capacity. As the nervous system becomes more regulated, something interesting starts to change. The body no longer needs constant tension in order to function. Attention becomes clearer and more focused. Energy is no longer consumed by underlying stress. Instead of forcing movement forward, action begins to emerge more naturally. People often notice that their work becomes more sustainable. Creativity increases because the mind is no longer operating in constant contraction. Decisions become easier because the system is not reacting from pressure. Achievement does not disappear in this state. In many cases, it actually becomes more effective. The difference is that productivity is no longer fueled by survival tension. Instead, it begins to arise from a more stable internal foundation. The body can move toward meaningful goals while still remaining regulated. When the shift happens, success stops feeling like something that must constantly be chased. It becomes something that can emerge as a natural expression of capacity. The nervous system no longer has to run on pressure in order to create movement in life. At this point, it can be helpful to pause for a moment and bring attention gently back into the body. Rather than thinking about burnout or ambition as ideas, simply notice what happens in your body when you imagine slowing down. For many high achievers, even the thought of slowing down can create a subtle reaction. The body may tighten slightly. The mind may immediately begin searching for reasons why that would not be practical or responsible. A sense of restlessness can appear. These reactions are not mistakes. They are simply signals showing how the nervous system has learned to organize experience over time. If achievement has been closely connected with safety, belonging, or stability, then slowing down can feel unfamiliar. The body may interpret stillness as uncertainty because it has spent so long operating in forward motion. Just noticing this response can be valuable. It begins to reveal that burnout is not simply about working too many hours or having too many responsibilities. Often it reflects the internal state from which life has been unfolding. You might take a moment now and imagine accomplishing something important to you. Notice what happens in the body as you picture that moment. Does the body soften and expand slightly? Or does it tighten as though preparing to push harder? Neither response is right or wrong. They simply reveal the nervous system patterns that may be quietly shaping the way ambition is experienced. Over time, the somatic path is about allowing the body to rediscover a different relationship with movement and achievement. As safety returns to the nervous system, the constant pressure to push forward begins to soften. Action can still happen, even in stillness. Goals can still be pursued, but the body no longer needs to carry the same level of strain in order for life to move forward. Achievement becomes something that can arise from stability rather than pressure. And when the body begins to experience that shift, the entire experience of ambition can start to feel very different. This perspective is part of what I call the somatic path, understanding how the state of the body quietly shapes the life we experience, including the way we pursue success and achievement. If this conversation resonates with you, you can subscribe for future videos.
Hi, it's Jim Daunt. My new book, The Somatic Path, is now available on Amazon. Go check it out. Also, if you're interested in some free ebooks, either check the links in the description or my website, jimdaunt.com.